Nothing is ever going to replace the creative mind of a human being that understands emotions, they understand light, they understand the simple, beautiful things in life that come together to capture a powerful image. Hey guys, my name is Sean Dalton. I'm a professional travel photographer, YouTuber, and content creator based in Bali, Indonesia. And in this video, I'm gonna answer all of your burning questions about how to get started as a professional photographer and how to capture photos that stand out as well. I hope you guys are ready. Let's get into it. I think in terms of it going from a hobby to a professional career, I just kind of fell into it. I never really expected it to be anything more than something that was a creative outlet for me. I was actually working a 9-to-5 in a hot little office in northern Thailand, and I had a really good friend of mine that said, "Sean, your photos are so good, they're so good, you should charge for them. You should take my portraits." Once everyone saw my buddies' photos, they came to me and they said, "We want photos like that. We want those for our LinkedIn profiles, for our Tinder profiles." And the word of mouth is super, super powerful, both when you're just starting out, but also once you grow into your career and people start chatting and they start sharing your work. That's one of the most powerful ways that we can score clients as photographers or any creative field for that matter. So I think at an obvious level, it's technical fluency with your camera, right? It's being able to pick up your camera and know exactly what settings to choose and being able to step into any scenario and take a cool photo. But the second part of that is actually the most important. In order to take a cool photo, it's not necessarily being fluent with your camera, it's having a deep understanding of all the artistic elements of a photograph, right? The lighting, the composition, the colors, the detail, and how all of these factors come together to tell the story of an image. And while being a master of your camera is gonna help you do this for sure, more importantly is having the vision of a photographer. It's walking outside and seeing beautiful light spilling in through the leaves of a tree and noticing things that a lot of other people don't notice. It's having the vision of an artist at all times. So I really like this question because I think when a lot of photographers start out and they say they want to go pro, the first thing they read is they need to niche down and select something and just stick with it. But I actually think this is quite bad advice because when you're just starting out as a photographer, all you want to do is shoot everything and take cool photos. And I love that. And I think you should definitely do that. Go out, explore your creativity, shoot whatever you want to shoot, and just have fun with it. Because over time, you're gonna find that niche that you really resonate with, and that's when you say, okay, I really like this. I'm starting to, gain a lot of traction in this specific niche. That's when you can dive into it a little bit more and kind of niche yourself down. So I think it's awesome to be a generalist in the beginning, but once you do find that niche that you like, then you can go into it and start focusing on that a little bit more. When it comes to finding your style, I think it's definitely an evolutionary process, right? It's gonna take time, it's gonna take effort. And as you're going through the process of shooting, you're gonna find certain elements, certain stylistic elements that you really resonate with. That might be sunset light, that might be shooting at blue hour. And you're gonna kind of pull these different stylistic elements together. And over time, that's gonna formulate your own unique style. So a lot of the time when a client is reaching out to you, especially if you're more established in your career, they're reaching out to you because they like your style already. So you're at that point where you don't really need to force yourself creatively to fit the client's expectations because they already really like your work. Now, of course, you will be forced to adapt from time to time, but as you grow in your career and you better your skills, this isn't all that difficult to do. I mean, at this point in my career, I can take a look at some images and I can kind of assess how the photographer shot and edited those images, which is really helpful for me when I'm going out to actually work with that client. I can keep those in my mind. I can keep them on a mood board on my phone. And then when I go into that shoot, I have a clear creative vision that I know the client is going to resonate with. I think the best way to get on a brand's radar is to do a spec shoot for that brand. So what you do is you go out, you buy a product, or maybe you have a product from that specific brand laying around the house, and you go out and you put together your own fake commercial shoots. You grab some friends, you go out to the beach, and you photograph that product in a cool place like you would if you were actually working for that specific brand. And once you have those images, now you have a really great in to reach out to that brand and say, hey, I took some really cool photos of your product. I don't know if you guys would be interested in potentially licensing these or maybe sharing them on your Instagram page. And even if they don't, they know who you are. And even better, you can use those photos in your portfolio as well. That's gonna really help boost your portfolio so you'll appeal to not only that brand, but to other brands as well. Reaching out to brands can be as simple as shooting them a DM. Now, ideally, you want to get an email address so you can reach out to them and say, hey, I have an idea that I'd love to share with you guys. Do you have an email address from somebody in the marketing department that I could reach out to with my idea? I think communication is so crucial when you're working with a client. You really need to understand their needs, their wants, and most importantly, their vision for the shoot. And one of the ways that I like to do this is to create a mood board for the client or have the client create a mood board for you. So you can tell them, hey, just go on Pinterest and put together some images that you want to inspire the shoot. And having this mood board is so incredibly important for us because it gives us a very clear idea of what the client wants for that shoot so we can go out and capture something similar on shoot day. So a portfolio is definitely one of those things that we want to get in place as soon as we possibly can when we're first starting out. It's going to say who you are, it's going to have your vibe in that portfolio, and it's going to have all of your best work in one place. I am a huge advocate of Squarespace. I think it's amazing. It's really easy to set up. One of the things I really recommend for beginners is to just have multiple categories in your portfolio. So if you love to shoot portraits, you love to shoot travel, and you love to shoot cars or maybe food, you can create separate categories in your portfolio to focus on those specific styles of photography. And then when you reach out to a brand, just send them the most relevant portfolio page because that's going to resonate with them the most. Instagram has become a pretty essential resource for my business, and I love it for a few reasons. Number one, and most importantly, I can connect with other creatives, people around the world that have the same passion for photography as me. And it's also a great place to connect with brands. So I connect with a lot of different brands there. They reach out to me, I reach out to them. It's a really easily accessed portfolio that many people can see right off the bat. It's kind of a social profile. Now, in terms of a portfolio, it kind of serves the same purpose, but on social media, on Instagram, you might be sharing a lot more than just your best work, where you're sharing every week, right? And you're sharing videos, photos, text, you're sharing ideas. I think with the way things are going in the creative industry and with all the AI out there, the more you can share about yourself, your personal life, and what it means to be human is really gonna allow you to stand out from all of that other content online. So one of the things that I started doing a few years ago was just sharing more opinions, sharing more ideas, and just showing more of my life here in Bali to my followers, to the people that I engage with, because it shows who I am and it shows the artist behind the work. And that's something that I think a lot of people can resonate with. So when I first started out shooting professionally, I made a lot of pricing mistakes. Like I think most photographers do. It's part of the learning process and it's gonna happen. One of the things that I was doing was I was charging per hour. So I would meet up with a client and we would just shoot for 1, 2, 3 hours and I would bill them based on the hourly rate. But this didn't take into account the editing that I had to do, the planning that I had to do, the communication with the client beforehand that I had to do. And I was also charging way too little money. And if you do want to charge by time, then I would recommend charging either a half day rate or a full day rate. Now, in terms of what your base rate might be, this is really going to vary depending on where you are in your career. So if you're just starting out, you just picked up a camera and you've never worked professionally before, you might be charging anywhere between $250 a day to $400 or $500 a day. If you're an intermediate and you kind of have some skills and you've shot with some friends and some family and you're a little bit confident, then you might be charging anywhere between, $300 and $600 a day. And if you're advanced, you can be charging anywhere between $500 and $1,000, and it just keeps going up from there. And I think one of the best tips I have on setting your day rate is you might not nail it at first. You don't have to nail it at first, and that's okay. If you're going out and you're shooting and you're earning something in the beginning, that's super valuable experience for you as a photographer. You can always change your rates later, or instead of charging them a day rate, you're charging them a project rate, and that's going to include your shooting and your editing all in one place. So it's easy for the client to understand, you know how much work is involved, and you can get it done with a price that you're happy with. When it comes to diversifying your income streams as photographers, we actually have a lot of options, and there's more traditional options like stock photography or licensing your images or selling physical prints as well, which you can easily set up on your portfolio website. But then there's the content creator side, and this is something that a lot of photographers have kind of fallen into over the last few years, because one of the things that we do as creatives, as photographers, is we share our work. We share our work on Instagram, maybe we make YouTube videos about it, and we talk about the creative creative process behind photography, and this attracts new eyes. This attracts followers, people that are interested in our work, and the more people that follow you, the more people that engage with your work, the more income streams that you can build for yourself as a photographer. And these are some of the things that I've done over the years to build up different income streams in my business to help support myself when maybe I don't have clients, or maybe I don't want to work with clients that month. I can focus on these other aspects instead, and I can still keep my monthly income flowing. I think AI has had some pretty massive impacts on the photography industry in recent years, but I think at the end of the day, the most important difference between AI and an actual photographer is the fact that one of them is human and one of them is AI. And that's one of the reasons why photographers are always gonna stand out. But besides that, I think AI is also epic. I mean, now we have so many interesting tools that we can use to remove things from our images, speed up our workflows, and just engage with our creative process in a different way. So as a photographer, as an artist, I'm actually incredibly excited about AI, and I'm eager to see all this new technology that's gonna come, help me edit faster, help me organize my images, and just stay on top of the workflow process a little bit better. There have been so many times in my career where I just was not feeling creative, I was not feeling inspired, and I felt stuck and trapped as a creative. But one of the things I learned is, in order for me to get inspired, I have to go out and shoot something and create something no matter what. So even if I wake up and I'm like, I just can't think of anything, I'll get up, I'll go outside, I'll go to the beach, and I'll just shoot something. Because when you do take that first step and you take action, that action is going to lead to inspiration, which is going to in turn lead back to action. And it creates this positive creative cycle that you can easily climb out of if you aren't feeling creatively inspired. So inspiration is hugely unreliable. You can't rely on it because it's not always going to be there. So go out and take action, and that inspiration will come back, and that will fuel you to take more action going forward. Another thing that's really helped me as well is just being part of a creative community. And that's one of the reasons why I actually moved here to Bali, is because there's a ton of amazing artists and photographers here. And because I have this network of creative and interesting people, there's a lot of conversations that we have that spark inspiration in my head, and that really inspires me to go out and create something interesting or beautiful, or see a different part of the world. So I think if you can surround yourself with other creative people, other like-minded people, that is massively important for you as an artist, regardless of the medium that you're creating art on, but especially for us as photographers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you making it to the end of this video. And if you want to see more content from me, I have 18 photography classes on Skillshare that go into these topics in a lot more detail. And I'm also active on YouTube here as well, so you can check me out here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to Skillshare's YouTube channel as well. Thank you guys once again, and I hope you have an awesome day.